Hey YouTube, it's Mitch at iPhoneCaptain.com. Today we're going to be discussing all the new specifications for the new iPhone 6, the iPhone 6 Plus, and comparing that to the iPhone 5S. So maybe we can help you make a better judgment as to which device that you probably would be best to purchase. So let's go ahead and get started. The iPhone 6 Plus and the iPhone 6 have several new added features to the camera. One being they both can now shoot 1080p video, which was one of the big things for me. And they both have a 8 megapixel camera, and that's what's on the iPhone 5S. However, the lens has been upgraded and the aperture has been increased or decreased to make it better. The iPhone 6 and the 6 Plus have what is called autofocus on it now, and they are comparing that to the Canon 70D, which is just phenomenal to have that in a mobile device. The iPhone 6 and the 6 Plus also have some sensors added, and they are a new barometer that's been added that the iPhone 5S doesn't have. So if that's something that you think you could use, then you might want to consider that. But they all three have the 3-axis gyro, the accelerometer, proximity sensor, ambient light sensor. All of those sensors are still there in all three devices. The only new sensor is the barometer sensor, so keep that in mind. When you're talking about power and battery, the iPhone 6 Plus has a lot bigger battery than the iPhone 6 and the iPhone 5S. Actually, the talk time for the iPhone 6 Plus is 24 hours on 3G, whereas on the iPhone 6 it's just 14 hours, and on the iPhone 5S it's 10. So that's a huge jump from 10 hours to 24 hours of talk time on 3G. That's pretty awesome if you ask me. Standby, you got 16 days on the iPhone 6 Plus. On the iPhone 6 you have 10 days, and on the iPhone 5S you have 10 days as well. So not a whole lot going on there. Internet use, you got 12 hours on 3G. You have 12 hours on LTE, 12 hours on Wi-Fi. That's on the Plus. On the iPhone 6, you have 10 hours pretty much across the board. And when you go to the iPhone 5S, that pretty much drops to 8 hours. And you still have the remaining 10 hours on Wi-Fi though. So not a whole lot of variation there. In video playback, you got 14 hours on the Plus, 11 on the iPhone 6, and 10 on the iPhone 5S. Audio playback, 80 hours on the iPhone 6 Plus, 50 on the iPhone 6, and 40 on the 5S. So that's another huge jump from 50 hours to 80 hours if you're going from the 5S to the 5 to the iPhone 6 Plus. Now guys, personally, when you start talking about devices of this size, iPhone 6 Plus has a 5.5 inch display. I'm going to show you something here that you can physically look at. This is 5-inch display, just 5-inch. Okay, now I want you to look when I lay it in my hand. My thumb cannot reach across to the opposite corner on either side. Now I have a handicap that limits me from using my right arm. Therefore, being able to use a phone with one hand is very important to me. And now Apple has developed something they're calling reachability. Now this is going to be available on the iPhone 6 and the Plus both. So, you know, keep that in mind. You're still going to be able to use it on the iPhone 6. Early on, I thought that was only going to be available on the 6 Plus, and I was sort of disappointed. But when the specs came out and I was looking over them, it is going to be available on the iPhone 6. So what it does, reachability actually drops the screen down to the lower half, so you can reach everything down here with just your thumb. making it very accessible for a one-hand use, which is something that that's a must for me, and it's just something that's going to be convenience for you. So you need to keep those kind of things in mind whenever you are going out to buy your device. And also, you have this new IPS technology that's in a lot of computer monitors. I know it's in the iMac here, and this other monitor I have here has the IPS technology, which makes a lot finer, better picture when you're talking about pixelation. But just overall, guys, the iPhone 6 has a 1920 by 1080 resolution with a 401 ppi. The iPhone 6 has a 334 by 750 and a 326 ppi, whereas the iPhone 5S has a 1136 by 640 with 326 ppi. So the ppi is really the same on the 5S and the 6, but the size of the screen has increased. So what worries me, if that's the case, you know, it would only make common sense that pixelation will be worse on the iPhone 6. But I just don't see Apple releasing something that would be the case. So I'm anxious to see how they get around that. Next up, we'll talk about the processors for your speed. The iPhone 6 and the 6 Plus have the A8 processor with the M8 Motion co-processor. So that's something that's going to help boost your speed dramatically. The iPhone 5S has the A7 processor with an M7 Motion co-processor. All three devices are still going to have the Intelligent Assistant Siri. That will be available there, so that won't be a problem at all for that. Now the next big thing, guys, is price. I have to drop the bomb last. Now, if you're going to be getting this on a contract, it's not going to be all that bad, because a 16 gigabyte iPhone 6 Plus on a 2-year contract is $299 for the 16 gigabyte. Now, the 64 gigabyte is $399. The 128 gigabyte is $499. Now, we're on a contract. Now we're going to the iPhone 6 on a 2-year contract. The 16 gigabyte, $199. 64 gigabyte, $299. 128 gigabyte, $399. The iPhone 5S on a 2-year contract, 16 gigabyte, $99. Now they're still releasing the 32 gigabyte for the 5S on a 2-year contract, $149. So you're getting a heck of a deal on the 5S now. See, because the next release, now these iPhone 6 prices will fall down to where the 5S price is now. So if you're someone that's always running a device behind, then you're going to be right on, you know, doing it up, you know, getting an awesome deal. But if you're like me and the rest of us that just can't wait to get your hands on these devices, you enjoy running out to the Apple Store, getting in line, talking to everybody, fellowshipping. That's the best part of all of this to me. It's just getting to know everybody, going out and actually standing in the cold to get into the Apple Store to get an unlocked device. For a 16 gigabyte iPhone 6 Plus, you're going to have to pay $749. What can you say? You just got to cough it up, guys, if you want it. Now, that's not even the 16, that's the 16 gig. The 64, which is what probably most people will want, is $849. Get this, the 128 gigabyte is $949. Unlocked. Unlocked iPhone 6, 16 gig, $649. 64 gig, $749. 128 gig, $849. Now we come to the unlocked 5S. 16 gig, $549. 32 gig, $599. So still, it's pretty steep, you know, if you have to buy it, if you're going to buy it unlocked. Guys, I hope by sharing all this information with you, and one other thing too I wanted to share with you, I read that the actual weight of the 5S is somewhere like around 4 ounces. Same thing for the iPhone 6. When you go to the 6 Plus, it jumps up to around 6 ounces. So if that's something you were wanting to know, hopefully I've covered everything that would help you be able to make that decision. And guys, let me know what you're going to buy in the comments below. I'm anxious to hear what all of you have to say. And if you enjoyed this video, don't be bashful. Leave a comment. A thumbs up really helps me out. I appreciate those. Share the video, please, and keep coming back.